Royal Caribbean has been making waves lately with their new Icon-class ships that's coming out, new private beach clubs and destinations, and the controversy around Perfect Day Mexico. Hi, I'm Angela from Grab Your Bags Travel. I sat down with Kelly from Royal Caribbean to talk all about it. In this interview, we discussed whether Perfect Day Mexico is still happening, how Royal chooses future destinations, what changes with upcoming ships like Legend of the Seas, Discovery Class rumors, loyalty perks, and even some hidden favorite spots on board Royal Caribbean ships. And honestly, I think there are a few answers every cruises will like to hear. So let's check it out. Kelly, thank you so very much for joining us today. Would you like to talk a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with Royal Caribbean?
Sure, my pleasure. I have been with Royal Caribbean for a total of 16 years. It's an absolutely amazing company, and I can't imagine being anywhere else. I've been in the travel industry, I feel like my whole adult life. Prior to being with Royal, I worked for an all-inclusive resort company in the Caribbean for 7 years. And then prior to that, I was a travel agent. So I've worked on both sides of the desks. I know a lot of what travel agents go through, the challenges, the dedication it takes. You know, I love now being able to partner with them and help them through anything or help them grow their business.
Your help and partnership is a great service to us to help our clients.
Yeah, it's a lot of what people don't realize is, and I tell my friends and family this all the time when they say, well, I'm just going to go book direct. I'm like, why would you book direct? Because it doesn't cost you more to book with a travel agent, right? You guys are the experts. Plus, you're an advocate for them when things go wrong. And trust me, I've been in this industry a very long time and things go wrong. You know, it happens inevitably. But not only are you an advocate, but then I'm an advocate as well. So sometimes I'm behind the scenes helping you fix things that, you know, guests don't even know about. But when you book on your own, you are on your own.
You're absolutely right. Plus, sometimes you're able to give us some perks that we are able to pass on to the clients as well that they don't get direct, even on top of the promos.
Yes.
So next month, Royal Caribbean is having their newest ship join their fleet, the Legend of the Seas in the Mediterranean.
Right.
And then you also announced that next year you're going to get Hero of the Seas. Both are Icon-class ships.
Right.
But how are they different from the previous Icon-class ships? What can we expect from these two?
Well, what happens when we bring out a new class of ships is typically the first two are pretty identical to each other, right? So Icon and Star are very similar. They might just change the name of something, but the venue itself is the same type of venue. But from that point, we really can kind of track guests where they are spending a lot of time, where they're not spending time that we thought that they would. And so when the third ship in a class comes in, we can start to get creative with those spaces. We think, oh, we thought a lot of people would be at this bar or using this venue and they're not. Let's reinvent it. Let's make it something different. So for example, clients on Utopia, they love the rail car, right? I don't know if you've done it or not, but it's a fantastic experience. We get rave reviews on it. And so it's something that we're bringing to Legend of the Seas. The other two, Icon Star, do not have the Royal Rail car. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a specialty dining experience. We like to call it entertainment, right? There's kind of a show going on at the same time that you're eating dinner, but you feel like you're in an actual train car. So there's different pop-up performers, improv people kind of telling a story along the way. On Utopia, it's taking you through America's Wild West. But on Legend, it's going to be the Silk Roads tour, and it's going to start in Asia and take you all the way to the Mediterranean. And there's these huge video screens with this crystal clear images that you would swear that you are looking out the window at, you know, mountainscapes in the Mediterranean or something. It's absolutely stunning. So we're very excited about that.
And I'm assuming Hero will be probably evolving from that as well as you get more feedback?
Yeah, we don't have. We're just starting to leak a little bit about Hero. So I don't think that there'll be many changes on Hero from Legend. But beyond Hero, we still have 3 more Icon class ships coming out, right?
Oh boy.
So we've got Icon 5 coming out in 2028. We have Icon 6 coming out in 29 and Icon 7 in 2030. So who knows what will be happening when we bring those 3 new ships out.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot. It's interesting what you're saying this too, is so many coming out and they're all much larger. They're largest ships in their fleet. And for a long time, there was rumors in the cruise boards and stuff that the Discovery class ships will be replacing the smaller ships, like Grandeur, Enchantment, the Vision class, as they age.
Right.
But from the sneaky things that slip through, it looks like it's not going to be that small. It's going to be more like Anthem, the Quantum class ship size.
Yeah, we don't have anything as to the size yet, but definitely the most important things to us with that class is, yes, there's Radiance, there's, ships that can go to destinations that the bigger ships cannot go to. So that's certainly something very important. And also being able to go through the Panama Canal was important. So as we start to get more information on that, those won't be coming out till for several years. I think 29 is the first year that Discovery 1 will be coming out. And as you know, there are always rumors floating around. Don't necessarily pay attention to all of the rumors yet until Royal Caribbean themselves starts putting out information. We do like to keep the focus on the next ship coming out, right? So right now you'll see most of it on Legend and Hero, but as more becomes available on Discovery class, eventually we will have to retire those older ships out. It's actually costs more money to operate them. We have great new technology, LNG. So, and then you could never improve those ships to be what ships are now. So the size is important for sure. And being able to go to those destinations that the larger ships cannot.
So now recently, like the past year, Royal and Celebrity and Silver Seas, but Royal and Celebrity has really been joining together on various ventures. As far as first, it was the status match points and loyalty matching. Now, recently you came out with the Royal One credit card, which comes out with many benefits. So some of my group members, of Facebook group members, have been asking, do you think that Royal and Celebrity will be sharing similar perks in the loyalty tiers? For example, Celebrity lets you have some laundry service with certain tiers. And then there's also Celebrity allows you to drop your bags immediately into your cabins when you drop off. And usually have to wait till after 1 o'clock with Royal Caribbean. Do you think they'll be meshing a little bit more in these areas, or is it still just operational differences?
Yeah, I mean, there are operational differences, but we do, like with Royal, if you're booked in a suite, you get access to your room immediately as soon as you get on board the ship. So you can drop your bags. I know sometimes like people don't realize the logistics of turnaround day, right? Turnaround day, which is the day that the ship returns back to port, 5,000 people get off, 10,000 bags have to be unloaded, and then they let 5,000 people on again, 10,000 bags to be loaded. So it's the busiest day of the week for the crew. And they're so busy trying to get all of those rooms perfect for the next set of guests.
But also, if they purchase the key, isn't that a benefit also? Am I wrong?
Yeah.
If they purchase the key, they have a drop-off where they could do their luggage.
Correct. They will get lunch in the main dining room. They could leave. There's only 100 people that can purchase it, right?
Okay.
Because it can't be exclusive to every single person. So we have to limit it.
It's not exclusive anymore.
Right. We have to limit it. But yes, you do get to bring your luggage to the dining room, and then they will deliver your luggage to your room for you. I love it. I think it's a great thing. Everybody that gets on board a ship the first day, I don't care what ship it is, what cruise line, they automatically go to the buffet, right?
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes since their last meal, but they're going to the buffet as soon as they get on the ship. And so it tends to get a little chaotic. So to have somewhere to go, just to have a quiet lunch and start your vacation in a relaxed mode versus, combating all of these people and all of these bags and trying to get, all you can eat lobster tails is I don't know. For me, it's worth it. But I know you had mentioned laundry before. So even like with our tiers, we do have laundry services. We do have, like if they're diamond, you could fill up a bag of laundry, and it's like $25 to get the whole bag washed. And, normally laundry doesn't come into play unless for a 7-night cruise. But when you get into those longer ones,
The longer back-to-backs.
like that, or back-to-backs, but yeah, certainly we do have deals for different tiers that you reach, and then for different levels of staterooms that you might book.
All right, so here's another question I'm always getting asked. When can we start expecting to see 2028 itineraries being released? I believe that's usually more fall.
Yes.
And do you know if Royal Caribbean takes into account of all the things that's been going on for the tourism, concerns of over tourism, like in Barcelona lately? They've actually took away 2 terminals from their cruise terminal, and now they're charging extra if you're only going to be there for the day versus like if you were going to embark and disembark. If you're just there for the port day, they want to charge extra fees. So do you think Royal Caribbean takes all these things into account when they set up their itineraries? And do you think Royal Caribbean has any eyes on any new type of destinations?
Well, I'm sure we're always looking at new destinations. And sometimes it's, creating a private place within a destination. Royal Caribbean is a worldwide company. So we have great partnerships with all of the ports that we go to. As far as deployment goes, yes, you're correct about the fall. Usually September, October, November is when we'll open our deployment. Right now it goes through April of 2027. So it will open for the next year and a half at that point. And then in the spring, we do deployment as well. So it's spring and fall. We've been around for 56 years. And certainly we take all of the destinations that we go to into consideration. We take the environment into consideration. We're partners with World Wildlife Fund, which people don't realize that most of it involves the oceans, right? So we take everything regarding the oceans very seriously. We have a sustainability report that comes out every year that talks about how our ships, are very, very low impact on the oceans and our ports. The other thing that a lot of people don't realize is that Royal Caribbean really gives back a lot to the places that they visit, right? In the Caribbean, for example, when they had the hurricanes and Puerto Rico had a lot of damage and they had no power, and we emptied a whole ship and filled it with generators and brought an entire ship of generators to the island. We also evacuated people off of the island to bring them to the U.S. if they had family there. So there's a lot of things that Royal does to give back to the places that they're visiting. And they're stories that are not always shared on the news, right? Because the news, if somebody sneezes on the cruise ship, they want to talk about it, but but they don't talk about all of the positive things. So we take a lot of responsibility and pride in where we visit and having the least amount of impact. But there's a lot of places that rely on us as well.
So I have a group that goes out of the Northeast, mostly Cape Liberty. And Philadelphia has become reused, starting, and I know that besides Cape Liberty, you also go out of Baltimore and Boston. But Philadelphia has recently started up with NCL.
Right.
And And the other thing people are asking when you're sailing from there, it's a little hard with destinations. Like, where could you go from the Northeast, that could fit 7 days for the cruise ship to go to?
Right.
So really for 7 days, the Bahamas is the furthest you could go. But they were curious as to whether you can, with any talk, or did you hear anything about maybe changing up the itineraries? Instead of going to Nassau, let's go to Freeport. Instead of Port Canaveral, could we go to Charleston or Miami?
I know Charleston is not a fan of ships in general.
Yeah, that's true.
But as far as new itineraries, like we're investing a lot in, like we just opened the Royal Beach Club in Nassau, right? A lot of people didn't want to get off the ship anymore in Nassau because they're like, been there, done that. So we've invested a lot in a public-private partnership with the Bahamas, and we built that beautiful peninsula that we've all dreamed of having our dream home there, right? It's gorgeous, to give people a new reason to go. Perfect Day at Coco Cay is, of all of the places that we go in the entire world, it's the #1 rated destination.
Yeah,
so yeah, people absolutely love it. So I think, we just opened our beach club in Santorini. We're opening the beach club in Cozumel, another destination that people weren't really getting off the ship. So, you have to think about what destinations have a terminal that are able to have all of these people get off the ship. Because tendering, think about an Oasis class ship, by the time that everybody would get to the island, they have to turn around to come back. It's just, it's too many people. So we have to make sure that where we're going has the facilities to accommodate everybody coming through, and then the security and everything required for everybody to get back on the ship. But we're always open and looking at new destinations. We've got a whole team of people that's all that they're doing is
all their job is.
Yes, I would love that job, right? Go all over the world,
too.
Go new places. Like we have La Lipa in the South Pacific that is going to be a new private destination. So it's going to be just, kept very native South Pacific. We're not building water slides and all of that, but it's going to be a private destination there that is going to be a beautiful beach day in Vanuatu. So, there's all places all over the world. I know we're looking at Royal Beach Clubs or private destinations in the Mediterranean and other islands in the Caribbean. So stay tuned. You never know.
Well, that was a nice segue to my next question, which was, like the one that Santorini is just opened, right? Just opened or is about to open. And a little while opening for the beach club in Nassau. What can people expect to go there? Like, what if they're going to purchase a pass there? And I believe there are several tiers and passes. What can they expect to get as an experience in the beach clubs?
They book it like a shore excursion, right? So it's totally up to them if they want to go there or not. Obviously, they'll be capacity controlled because there's only so many people that they're going to be able to accommodate. For the Bahamas, I haven't been there yet personally. I can't wait to go. I'll be there in 2 months, but I've seen so much footage. Anybody who's done Nassau and you go to any of the beaches there, they're okay, right? They're not the greatest, and the food options are okay. So they can go and have all of the food that they want. They can either purchase it with beverages. It really isn't that much more expensive to do it's like an all-inclusive day, right? But
Right.
It's not that much more expensive to buy it with the alcohol than without. It's like a $10 difference. So why not? But all of your beach towels, beach chairs, certainly all of the entertainment, heated pools, which is a great plus. In Santorini, there's 4 different ways that they can book it. They can either just do the beach club if they've already been to Santorini and they don't want to tour any of the like Ia or Fira when they are traveling there. But they can also book it where they go to, stop in one or both of the towns. It's just in a different order. You either stop
Right.
at both towns and then go to the beach club. So it really depends on what they're looking to do.
So with Santorini, you could do a little sightseeing and then just chill
Yeah,
and relax at the beach afterwards before you have to go back.
correct.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, so the one in Costa Maya has been in the news. Perfect Day in Mexico has been in the news past couple of weeks because of the issues with the government not wanting you guys to develop there. Do you think Royal will be just nixing that totally, or do you think we're still like in negotiation stage and may see something in the future?
No, I'm sure that you'll see something in the future. There's always, when we built the Royal Beach Club in Bahamas, anytime that any foreign government is getting involved, there's always going to be other things that they want, discussed. But we're building a water plant there and all kinds of amenities that would be really beneficial to those who live there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just stay tuned for further information.
You've said you've been with the company for 16 years. How do you think Royal Caribbean's ship design and amenities stand out as a family-focused cruise line?
Yeah, there's so much to do on board a ship, right? So yes, I did work at all inclusives and I liked them. I loved the company I worked for and the people that I worked for at the time. But during the day, it's like you either choose, do you want to lay by the pool or do you want to lay at the ocean, right? And you could do some water sports, but depending on the island you're at, some of them had a lot of tours, some of them didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then at nighttime, you were just kind of at the mercy of whatever local entertainer that they brought in, right? And some of them were good, some of them were not so good. And after that, you had to hope that there was a good crowd of people there that would want to go to one of the bars or something to socialize with.
Right.
Whereas on a ship, we've got, like on our Oasis class, we've got the aqua theater shows, we've got main stage shows, there's ice skating shows, there's, usually over 20 bars. Many of them have different types of music that they're playing. There's dancing. So you could go to a show and you get out at 11 o'clock and think, oh, there's nothing going on. And there's still so much going on. A lot of families would do Disney, right? And the kids eventually get older and they want more activities, more to do. They want a flow rider and rock climbing walls and ice skating rinks and all of that. And so we have all of that. And if that's not what you want to do, well, we have plenty of adult only areas as well. So we really have a great world for, multi-generational families. The kids can go to the kids club all day, have their own experiences. Mom and dad could go, hang out at the pools, do whatever activities. Grandma and grandpa can go to the solarium, the adults only area, and then they all gather for dinner. They've got their own stories to tell about their day and go to a show or whatever. There's just so many things to do.
You just described my family. You really did. And exactly how we started cruising and how we've stayed cruising because, when we were my kids were really little, we took them to the beach. We did those beach vacations and they were bored. And my husband was bored. And I personally can sit there for a few hours and be content and just people watch. But they can't. They need to do things. Yeah. So going on a cruise, I could sit at the solarium, like you said, and they can go off and play their trivia games and shuffleboard and pickleball and everything. It is the best of both worlds. And like you said, the entertainment you find on cruise lines and the Royal Caribbean has really for all ages. And
Broadway shows, Mamma Mia and
amazing shows.
Rock You and The Wizard of Oz, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory that's going to be on Legend, Back to the Future, Hairspray. So, and all of those are included. Yeah. Then if you think about the cost of buying a Broadway show ticket, now with all the surcharges and all of that, it's easily $200 a person. Yep. We have 7 shows on an Oasis class ship going on in a week. That's like $1,400 worth of entertainment. That's all included in the cruise fare. So the value is definitely there.
After all your years of working with Royal Caribbean, what is your recommendation of when you should book a Royal Caribbean cruise? And do you have any secrets you're willing to share or best spots you'd like to share on the ship? Like on the ship and best spots on the ship that you think people should, go to and try.
Well, I don't know if I want to tell them that because then they'll go there. But I mean, as far as booking, look, the days of waiting to the last minute for some last minute deal have been long gone in the cruise industry, right? Mm-hmm. So you're better to book further out. You're better to book with travel agents. Travel agents like yourself, you have access to group space, right? That's been blocked from the minute that deployment opened up. Somebody's sitting on their computer blocking group space. I know just about every ship and sailing date. And then, so you're holding a price advantage. A client 9 months later, when they start to consider that cruise, now they're looking at 9 months later pricing, which is going to be substantially higher. Mm-hmm. So the closer you get in, the more expensive it is. And as far as the ships, so like I love people watching, right? On all of our ships, there's typically a promenade area. So I like to sit usually by the pub, have an ice cold beer or a glass of wine, and sometimes just watch all the people walking back and forth. And then on like venues themselves, I love the dueling piano bar on Icon Class. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, I've heard much about that. I haven't seen that one.
A couple of my favorite spaces on Icon Class ships are the Overlook, which is behind the Aqua Theater. It's absolutely stunning space. It's, floor to ceiling windows everywhere. By day, it's like the coolest living room on the ocean, right? There's a great bar there. And at nighttime, it kind of looks Avatar-ish, I guess, right? It's all lit up in these different colors, and there's pods you can sit up in and with a group of people and just have a drink or play cards or whatever. It's a really beautiful space, as well as the Pearl Cafe is another beautiful space, floor to ceiling windows. I love the Mason jar on Utopia and some of our ships. If you're a bourbon lover, that's the best place that has the best bourbon selections. I know I feel like I'm mentioning a lot of bars, and I promise I'm not drinking at all of them, but I just, like to people watch and listen to music. Music hall is really fun if you like cover bands. The music is amazing, and sometimes you just can sit there and rock out to 80s music. That's my generation that I, grew up loving. So there really is, so many different nooks and crannies, and especially our ships with neighborhoods, like just to sit in Central Park at nighttime and you hear the sound of crickets and you feel the ocean breezes and just to, if you feel like you're just taking a stroll through a park with all the plants, and it's just beautiful and peaceful, and there's a nice breeze. And so it really depends on, what you're looking for.
Well, Kelly, thank you so much for taking this time to talk with us, answering our questions. I greatly appreciate your time and expertise in Royal Caribbean.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So tell me, what did you think of all those new developments coming? And do you agree with her? What is your favorite secret spot on Royal Caribbean? I know it won't be a secret anymore, but come on, we're a community. We could share. And don't forget to subscribe so you can learn about more cruise tips, cruise news, and inside information. Thank you very much for watching. Happy cruising.